إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله تعالى من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهديه الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا ثم أما بعد. Inshallah, we are going to continue our journey with fiqh. This is the journey that we have started almost 1 year ago, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us consistent, right? Never give up, never think it's a long journey. The long journey starts with what? Begins one step, right? So and the scholars, all of them, they emphasize on that. It's not a matter of attaining your destination. It's a matter of dying on the right direction, right? So don't say, when will I finish? Never say that. Because Ahmad ibn Hanbal, rahimahullah himself, he said what? He said, مع المحبرة إلى المقبرة. With ink to the grave, to the tomb, right? And all the scholars, they kept on seeking knowledge till they died, right? Nobody said, now I have finished. No. So we are going, inshallah, to continue. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant all of us the steadfastness. Amen. And to make us from those who are chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to know His religion. You know what's going to happen to those who seek knowledge? Who can say? Whoever seeks a way, right, towards knowledge. من سلك طريقا. Whoever takes a way, right, towards knowledge. يلتمس فيه علما. To seek knowledge. What's going to happen? سهل الله له به طريقا إلى الجنة. Allah will make easy for him by this way a way to Jannah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imagine that. So seeking knowledge is ibadah. It's a great ibadah. It's a great one, right? Subhanallah. Let alone what Allah has mentioned about who said, he who Allah intends good with him, He will give him fiqh in deen. من يريد الله به خيرا يفقهه في الدين. Will make him faqih in the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So whenever you find yourself inclined, right, towards the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, especially the knowledge of Quran and Sunnah, so this is a good token, a good sign that you are, inshallah, on the right track. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us die on Islam and Iman. Last chapter we finished. Last time we finished the chapter which was talking about the obligation of what? Salatul Jama'ah. وجوب صلاة الجماعة. This is actually was the last chapter. وجوب صلاة الجماعة, and we spoke about the obligation of praying in Jama'ah. And as the writer here, the Mu'allif al-Sheikh, for example, he has chosen this opinion that is wajib and to pray in Jama'ah. And he mentioned all of the evidences that you have heard, right? It was actually a long chapter. We have taken three sessions to cover all of these, masail and questions and points. And tonight we have a new chapter, which is so, I can say, it's so essential to be known by everyone who prays. It's about الأحكام التي تتعلق بالمسبوق. الأحكام, the rulings which have to do with the one who prays behind the Imam, al-Ma'mum, especially the one who comes late. While the Imam is already on, or established. He said here, he started with this first. الصحيح من قولي العلماء أن المسبوق لا يدرك صلاة الجماعة إلا بإدراك ركعة، فإن أدرك أقل من ذلك لم يكن مدركا للجماعة. He said the more sound of the two views of the scholars. When you hear this phrase, that means this is actually a controversial issue, right? But this is the most correct one, the most correct view of these two opinions, which is what? He said regarding the one coming late for Jama'ah, for congregational prayer, that he is not to be regarded as having caught up with the prayer, with the Jama'ah, unless he prays at least, how many rak'ah? At least one rak'ah thereof, to be counted as a musalli who was successful to catch up the jama'ah, right? He has to catch at least one rak'ah with the imam, at least. So, if one catches less than one rak'ah in jama'ah, like he comes in while they were in last shahwat, right? Or they were in sujood, the last sujood, or the last rak'ah, one is not regarded as having attended the jama'ah. He speaks now about the rewards, right, of jama'ah. He said here, but one is allowed to follow the imam from the time one has entered the prayer, and one will get the reward for the congregational prayer according to one's intention. This is very important here. You deal with Allah, man. You don't deal with anybody else. You don't deal with your boss at your company, right? No, you deal with Allah Azza wa Jal, right? So Allah deals with your intention. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gives you reward according to your intention. So He says here, the person doesn't catch the last rak'ah at least, so he wouldn't be named, or he wouldn't be having this salah in jama'ah, right? But he has to do it. He has to join imam. Cannot stay now. Say no, now they are already praying the last rak'ah, so let me stay. No, he has to join the imam and the jama'ah, even if the imam is almost finished. He has to join him. He said, and he will be given the reward based on his intention. Based on what? His intention. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will give him the reward according to the intention. He came from his home to pray at the masjid jama'ah, right? And إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Indeed, deeds are being counted based on the intention, are being judged based on the intention, right? Hmm. He said, كما إذا وجدهم قد صلوا فإن له بنيته أجر من صلى في جماعة. As we have mentioned, he will be given the reward. And this is actually a main principle in Islam, which is whoever intends to do anything good and he couldn't do it for some reasons out of his control, right? He will be given the reward. قال صلى الله عليه وسلم من هم بحسنة فلم يعملها كتبها الله له عنده حسنة كاملة. Whoever intends to do a good deed, but he doesn't do it, because of some reasons, he doesn't do it, right? Allah will give him a complete, a full hasana reward. فإن عملها, what if he does it? What if he managed to do it? Allah will give him 10 rewards. فإن عملها كتبها الله له عنده 10 حسنات إلى 700 ضعف. And this will be multiplied to 70 times too. Subhanallah. Um, he said, as we said here, um, if one intends to perform Salah Jama'ah but finds that people have finished the prayer, then one will get the reward like that of those who have performed Salah Jama'ah. Right? Uh, According to the soundest view of scholars, the rak'ah is counted only when one catches up with the prayer during the ruku'ah, the bound position. This is actually the opinion of al-jumhur, like most of the scholars. They said, how can you count your rak'ah? If you catch what? If you catch the rak'ah, ruku' with imam, or if you catch him while he's standing, when? So two opinions, two main opinions in this regard, right? One of them, the Sheikh here is actually intending, or he you can say he's tending to choose this one. He says, if you catch the ruku'ah, if you join the salah, join the jama'ah, and you see them in ruku'ah, and then you catch them while they are in ruku'ah still, so now you count this rak'ah. You count it, right? This is the first opinion. And he said the evidence for this opinion in the hadith that was narrated by Abu Dawood, من أدرك الركوع فقد أدرك الركعة. This hadith is actually is not authentic, right? Which means if anyone catches up the ruku' position, he already has got the rak'ah. Hadith is not authentic, right? Hadith is weak, right? Then he said, but there's another hadith too. حديث صحيح حديث البخاري أبي بكر وقد جاء والنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في الركوع فركع دون الصف ولم يأمره النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بإعادة الركعة فدل على الاجتزاء بها. He said, حديث البخاري that Abu Bakr who reached the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم in the mosque while the Prophet ﷺ was in ruku' position, bowing, right? In salah. And he too bowed before joining the row. Before he joined, the row, the line, he made ruku' behind. Why? To catch it. He was afraid if he keeps walking to the row, he might actually miss this rak'ah. So the Prophet ﷺ, he didn't order him to perform the rak'ah again, which proves that it is sufficient for one if one catches up with the prayer when the jama'ah are in the ruku' position. This is the hadith that he used. The other opinion, they said no, this hadith actually it indicates the opposite. How? They said, look, what did he say to him, sallallahu after he finished? He said to him, زادك الله حرصا ولا تعد. First he asked, who is this person who made ruku' before he reached the row? Then he said to him, Ya Rasulullah, I did it. Eventually he said, I did it. He said, may Allah make you more keen, right, on attaining the rewards and gaining the rewards. And he said to him, however, do not do that again. Do not repeat what you have done again. Right? وَلَا تَعُدْ. Scholar said, okay, now, وَلَا تَعُدْ. Do not repeat. Repeat what? Do not repeat what? Do not repeat counting the rak'ah. The rak'ah. When you only catch the ruku'. Or do not repeat making ruku' behind the line, behind the row, alone. So they said all of these are still possible. To discuss the hadith, Imam Ahmad said, أو الشافعي فليس لأحد أن يعود إلى ما نهى عنه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. It's not for anybody, it's not right, it's not appropriate for anybody to repeat something the Prophet ﷺ has forbidden this person to do. And they said the word وَلَا تَعُدْ, do not make it again, it actually might be understood as do not count the rak'ah if you only catch the ruku'. And this is the second opinion, which says no, you have to catch the imam while he is standing before he goes to ruku' in order to count these rak'ah. And they said why? They because the Prophet ﷺ, he said, لا صلاة لمن لم يقرأ بفاتحة الكتاب. Authentic hadith. There is no salah, there is no valid salah for that person who doesn't read the Fatiha. And when you catch Imam in ruku', you didn't actually read the Fatiha. Right? And they said you missed also the first, the first pillar, which is qiyam. You missed it, or you missed the Fatiha, right? And you missed the qiyam. You didn't make qiyam. Some people become like right away. Even by the way, based on the first opinion, what should you do? Even if you want to take the first opinion, adopt it, you should come to the line and say Allahu Akbar first. This is takbir al-ihram. First takbirah is a pillar, right? Say Allahu Akbar. And then to make the second takbirah, which is moving to the ruku', the second right? And while you're standing, say Allahu Akbar again. But just don't come right away and just say Allahu Akbar and then to make ruku'. Now we didn't actually, you missed the first takbirah, right? You didn't make it, right? And this is a pillar. Anyway, these two opinions. So it's better, not as better actually. I adopted the second one, right? According to like all the scholars who adopted. And he mentioned that what I have mentioned again. He said, so if he does it, if he reach the salah while the imam is in ruku', he must pronounce the opening takbir, takbir al-ihram, right? While he's standing, not do it while he's in ruku'. No, while he's standing, say Allahu Akbar. Even if you want to adopt the first opinion, which is to count the rak'ah, right? If you catch the ruku', he said you have to say Allahu Akbar first. And this is khilaf sa'id. What does this mean? Khilaf. This is actually a reasonable khilaf, reasonable difference, right? We actually tolerate this difference because every one of these two groups of scholars, they have their own opinion, right? So we tolerate this khilaf because it's not against what you call clear evidence or clear proof. No, all of the scholars, all of the like two groups, right? Each one of them, they have their own evidences and their own understanding. So now the difference about how to understand the hadith of the Prophet, and this is acceptable khilaf, right?
I have a question. When I come late, so I have to recite Surah Fatiha, even you already did it.
And this is actually, we mentioned that before, that Al-Fatiha is rukn in Salah, is a pillar in Salah, right?
But they said Imam recitation is a.
Yeah, we mentioned this khilaf. This is a khilaf. They said Imam recitation is enough for, but it's not actually a hadith. It's not hadith. It's an opinion of a scholar. The Imam recitation is enough. And this is a weak hadith, so weak hadith that من كان له إمام فقراءة الإمام له قراءة. So weak hadith. Whoever has an imam, so his recitation is enough for him. And this is so weak hadith, right?
So we have to recite Surah Fatiha.
So yes, and now there's another opinion which is in between, which says Imam Malik rahimahullah, he adopted this opinion, which is if you pray behind Imam and he reads loudly, like the first two rak'ah of Isha, first two rak'ah of Maghrib, the Salat al-Fajr, he said, Imam Malik said it's enough for you to listen to his recitation and to say Ameen after all. Now it's enough for you. But if you recite quietly, like the last rak'ah of Isha or Dhuhr al-Asr, right? He recites silently. So he said, you have to recite. You have to recite.
And you do the sakta.
Huh? No, this sakta is only to take your breath, to take your time. It doesn't. This sakta is not time for the ma'mum to recite. The ma'mum recites any time. Any time. Yeah.
They can read.
No, anytime you recite. Once you start salah, you recite. You can recite even once you say Allah Akbar, you recite Fatiha.
But even loud when you speak. then you just listen, and then you.
I'm telling you, this is now we have three opinions now. Abu Hanifa, rahimahullah, he said, don't read at all. Abu Hanifa said, don't read at all. And he actually used the hadith I mentioned, which is not authentic at all. Because he didn't know this hadith is not authentic, right? He thought it's authentic, right? But Abu Hanifa, as we mentioned before, he used to live where? No, no. So in Iraq, yes, Iraq. He used to in Iraq.
Wasn't that Sham?
No, Sham in Syria.
Syria.
Yeah, Iraq. Huh? He used to live there, right? So he was away from the Medina of the Prophet. So hadith sometimes reached him in like, and he didn't know. So he is excused. And he says, whoever finds any authentic hadith after me, he has to stick to it and to throw my opinion to the wall. Who said that? Hanifa. Huh? Subhanallah. He said, don't stick to my opinion, guys. I'm not a prophet. Like, he's not a prophet, right? He said, if you find a hadith, authentic hadith, right, which is actually going against what I have said to you, you have to stick to the hadith and to throw my opinion to the wall. Huh? So we shouldn't be having these bigotry, right? Or like blind imitation, right? We have to follow. Eventually, we will be questioned our grave about Abu Hanifa. One of these three questions will be who is the man who was sent to you, guys? Who is your messenger? Is he going to say who is your imam? So you have to answer this question. How would you answer this question? You answer it now. You answer the question now. When you obey the Prophet ﷺ and you follow, you stick to what he said, and the scholars, all of them, they declare themselves innocent. If anybody might claim that he follows Abu Hanifa, if he has been here now, huh? If he has been calm right now, he would say to you guys, I didn't tell you I'm a prophet to follow me. Huh? I haven't received the revelation from Allah. I tried my best to know the truth. And all of them said that. Malik, Shafi'i, Ahmad, all of them said that. Right? Malik, what did he say? Malik, rahimahullah. Huh? We actually respect all of them. This is the scholars of Islam. But they taught us how to understand the deen. And they put these principles. Imam Malik said, while he was pointing out to the grave of the Prophet ﷺ, he said, everyone, his statement will be taken and will be rejected based on the evidences, except the owner of this grave. While he is pointing to the grave of the Prophet ﷺ, he's the only one exclusively, like nobody else. It's an exclusive right, huh? Exclusively to the Prophet ﷺ. Nobody, huh? Nobody. His word is infallible. The Prophet only. He said, "This is the only man. When you hear his words, take it. You cannot say no. You have to take it. Anybody else? He might say that. Shafi'i said the same. قال من استبانت له سنة. Shafi'i said that. فليس له أن يدعها أو يتركها لأهل قول أحد من الناس كائنا من كان. He said, Shafi'i, whoever gets a sunnah, like whoever realizes a sunnah of the Prophet, a hadith of the Prophet clearly, and it was clear evident for him. It's not for him to leave it and forsake this sunnah and adopt any statement or any opinion of anybody else, no matter who is. Subhanallah. Huh? Ahmad Muhammad said the same too. So all the scholars, they said, they put this ruling, right? These actually the principles they put. So anyway, just back to the point again. We said now, Hanifa said, don't read at all, right? Based on this hadith. Malik said, no, just you read when Imam doesn't read. And when Imam reads, you just listen to him, huh? And you say Ameen and this is a very strong opinion, by the way. This is a very strong opinion, right? The third one, they said, no, you have to read anyway. Imam reads, who doesn't read, you have to read yourself. And this is the opinion of Shafi'i, rahimahullah. Right? You have to read anyway. Whether Imam reads or he doesn't read, you have to read whether he reads or not. Because he said, the hadith. So everyone has his own, but we have two opinions, which you can say, if you adapt to any one of them based on the evidences, right? It be acceptable, which is قول Malik or Shafi'i, whether you read behind the Imam if he reads, or only you read when he doesn't read. This is two acceptable opinions, right? And they have strong evidences.
Sure, I have a quick question. If you catch, say, you're in the second rak'ah and the imam is in the second surah, and he finishes, like you catch him while he's in that surah, but he finishes, like, you didn't get a chance to say it Fatiha.
Look, this is actually another proof for those who say you read it. You read it whether Imam reads or not, because you might enter while when he finished. He just now he's praying and he's reading another surah now, right? You didn't hear the Fatiha. So they say you just read it anyway. And actually, I take this opinion. If I just pray behind the Imam, I would have to read anyway. So,
But you say to yourself the Fatiha.
excuse me?
But you went to
This is an exception. This is an exception. Al-Fatiha is an exception from the words of Allah Azza wa Jal. وإذا قرئ القرآن فاستمعوا له وأنصتوا لعلكم ترحمون. When the Quran is being recited, listen to it attentively, right? Listen to it attentively, so that you may be having mercy, right? So this is an exception now. The exception is only Fatiha. Don't read anything else. Don't read any other surah. Only Al-Fatiha. If Imam is reading, you read Al-Fatiha and that's it. And another hadith, Sheikh Al-Bani said the hadith sahih. He said sallallahu alaihi wasallam to the Sahaba one day, لعلكم تقرؤون خلف إمامكم. Perhaps you read behind your Imam, guys. Hey, the Sahaba said that's the Sahaba. He said, Ya Rasul, yes, we do. He said, don't read, except only Fatiha al-Kitab. Except only when you read Al-Fatiha. فإنه لا صلاة لمن لم يقرأ به. For there is no salah, valid salah, for the one who doesn't read it. So they said here, the Prophet ﷺ, he said to them, don't read behind your Imam except Al-Fatiha. This hadith has been classified as Sahih, authentic hadith, sound by Sheikh Al-Bani, rahimahullah ta'ala.
So if you don't read the Fatiha and say he goes into ruku' before you get to finish saying Al-Fatiha, does that mean you missed the rak'ah and you have to?
If you don't read it, if you join Imam while he's standing, and then once you joined him, he already moved to the ruku', right?
Yes.
So now you should read the Fatiha and then catch him.
Okay.
Don't move unless you finish the Fatiha, because now you are making rukn now, right? Just now to have to, based on the, as you said, the last opinion, which is the opinion of Shafi'i, you have to read it. Now you catch him in qiyam while he's standing still. So, and you say Allahu Akbar before he went to ruku'. So now you have to finish the Fatiha and then to catch him after that in ruku' and so on and so forth, right? This is actually the opinion of
if you got up from ruku, so we still reciting the Surah Fatiha.
yeah, even if based on the opinion that I have said to you, right? Shafi'i, even though, because you are making ruku' now, try to finish Al-Fatiha, right? And then to catch him, even if he what you call finish ruku', you make ruku' and then you catch him after that, right? This is actually because you cannot skip one rukn, one pillar. Anyway, this is actually, as I said, all of these are reasonable khilaf, right? But now at least you know the opinions of these scholars.
But next one who's standing praying with me, he don't understand that.
It's not your. It's not.
He's gonna say
It's his job to understand now. Well, we're gonna just actually, you're gonna just observe others and try to make your image clear in front of them on the account of your salah, on the expenses of your salah, right? And if whoever doesn't know, it's his problem. Many people they don't know the sunnah and they might think, oh, you're the wrong one, right? Right? And they think, no, you're just actually, subhanAllah, you're so ignorant. And he is the one who doesn't know. Subhanallah. So he said here just to finish, but the Sheikh here, he adopted which opinion? Is going to come to know now about this, but he adopted the opinion that I have mentioned to you about you listen to the Imam when he reads only, and if he doesn't read, you read Al-Fatiha yourself, right? This is the opinion that he adopted here, right? And then he said here, so if he gets the Imam in any okay. So the first takbirah is rukn, right? The second takbirah, which is moving from qiyam to ruku', is sunnah. It's better to do it. But the first one is rukn, right? He said, hadith said, he mentioned the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, if you come to prayer while we are prostrating, sujood, prostrate yourselves along with us, but do not consider it a rak'ah. Huh? He said, إذا جئت إلى الصلاة ونحن سجود فاسجدوا. The hadith also means, another hadith, like if you join salah, if you come in while they are in any position, don't wait. Some people they wait. I'm gonna wait till he finishes and then I'm gonna go. Why? Don't wait. Make sujood, man. Even if it's not counted, sujood. You make sujood to Allah Azza wa Jal. Get reward. Huh? Some people are very business people. I want to only do what's going to bring to me some benefit. What's benefit? This kind of salah is counted or not? No. If you just catch, if you join them, if you come in the masjid, even if you are in sujood and you know for sure rak'ah is gone, right? You have to do it. Join them too. Join them, right? Of course, you don't count, right? And he said here, when they listen, very, very careful. Now, when should you stand up to make up what you have missed? Huh? Yeah. He said, when the Imam pronounces the second taslim, which is the final salam and salam, the latecomer, one who comes late, right, is to stand erect to perform whatever he has missed.
Wow, not the first time.
No, the first takbir. Like some people, once you say, first taslim, sorry. Assalamu alaikum, and then he stands up.
Wow.
Or sometimes assalamu alaikum, and then he makes salam immediately after you. Wait for him to finish the second salam, final salam, and then you stand up. Not the first salam, right? This is so actually.
You just touched on something. So you're supposed to follow after the second.
After the second, not after the first. After if he finished the second, right?
I messed up, man. I messed up a lot of times.
No, I wanted you to stress that because I see that.
He said, yet he is not to stand before the second asleep. For now, with him.
We all learned.
Oh my God.
So he said what? He said, don't stand. Yet he is not to stand before the second taslim pronounced by the Imam. Wait. I know you're busy, but wait. Some people are in too much rush. Even in Salah, you don't want to wait for a second, 5 to second.
They say Imam have to make Islam fast too. Imam, nowadays, Imam take a time and
Some time?
already.
Anyway, your job is to wait. And his job, somebody say, some Imam said they do that, which is wrong actually. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. No, don't do that. Shorten. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. That's it. Make it short. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. That's not right. Huh? And then he makes, and even in takbir, Allahu Akbar. People just make sujood. Like he says Allahu Akbar when he was like going from qiyam to sujood, right, to make sujood. And already people already in sujood. And he's Allah, and he's like prolonging. It's not sunnah. Sunnah is to shorten the takbirat in salah. This is sunnah. Allahu Akbar. Hadf. See hadf, right? Allahu Akbar. Sami Allahu liman hamid. Sami Allahu liman hamid. Like, that's not right. This is against the sunnah of the Prophet. Some people think because they have a beautiful, what do you call, melodious tone
Yeah.
in their voice. So they want to actually, that's not right. That's not right. You have to make it sure.
What about say that?
Huh?
What about say that?
What's it?
When you remove,
Huh?
say that.
And such
The sajda.
Yeah. I remember a different imam, they go and say that only for more than 2 minutes.
Subhanallah. Anyway, that's not right, you
Some
know?
people had
Some people, they have this,
that problem.
it's not right, it's not right.
The young and old people.
So yeah, that's not right. And sometimes the congregation think, oh, this is actually a good imam. It's something good.
Oh, he's so serious.
He's good, right? He's like very serious, and he's like, subhanallah, this imam is very energetic, right? Subhanallah, that's not right. Yes, we're here to learn sunnah. Sunnah is not based on our desire and whims and our wajd. Wajd is still like whims, right? What we like, what we think is good, what we think is no, that's not actually the sunnah. So here,
Another extreme also where you are catching up imam. He's fast, like
this is
going back
something.
and forth.
You know what? Subhanallah, the same imams,
I know, balance.
same imams who are prolonging the takbir,
Yeah.
they are actually very quick in the ruku' and sujood.
Yeah.
The speed and yeah.
Even you can even
Feel like
catch
catching
Like you have to go catch a flight at the plane waiting.
You have actually to be, as you said, have to be moderate and to use balance, and to have tranquility in your salah, and to have sakina in your salah, right? And to be moderate. Like he said now, listen to this very carefully. He said, وَمَا أَدْرَكَ الْمَسْبُوقُ مَعَ إِمَامِهِ فَهُوَ أَوَّلُ صَلَاتِهِ عَلَى الْقَوْلِ الصَّحِيحِ. Now there's another opinion here.
Sorry, Sheikh.
Another point here, right? He said, وَمَا أَدْرَكَ الْمَسْبُوقُ مَعَ إِمَامِهِ فَهُوَ أَوَّلُ صَلَاتِهِ. Now, على الصحيح. He said, according to the soundest view of the scholars. Here again, when you hear this statement, that means two opinions, right? And he chooses one of them. The beginning of the salah of the one who comes late in Jama'ah, in the port, he catches up with the Imam. This is the beginning of the salah. What is the benefit of this point? Whatever you catch up first, this is the beginning of your salah. Whatever you catch up first is what? Beginning of your salah. Say now, I'm going to give you an example. You enter, you came in while Imam is in the third rak'ah of Dhuhr. Right? He already prayed 2 rak'ah. And you were able to catch him the third one. Now, the third one for the Imam, is it the third one for you? It will be the first one for you. Of course, the first one, but you should deal with it as the first one in terms of you would read Al-Fatiha, and you have time, you can read after Al-Fatiha surah too. Right? But it is the first, of course, but or let's say Maghrib. You join Imam in the third rak'ah of Maghrib. For him, the third. For you, the first, right? Okay. When you say it is the first, now when you read, after you read louder, or you read the last one. Now it is the first, right? The second for you, The second for you, or you say you join the Imam in the second rak'ah of Maghrib, right? So you missed the first one. You missed the first one. Now, what is left for you after Imam makes a sleep? Is to make up 1 rak'ah, right? To make up 1 rak'ah. The one that you are going to make is the last or the first for you? For you, the last, right? So now, would you read louder? Would you read Quran loudly, or like out loud, or will you read silently?
I can do any way.
This is 2 opinions actually.
Either loud
If
or
you count, if you say based on this opinion, the beginning of your salah is the beginning of your salah for you, and the last is the last. So based on that, when Imam makes the taslim, you actually stand up for the last rak'ah, right? Which is the last for you too. Which is the last for you, and then you read You read what? Silently, quietly, right? Even though you missed the first one, which was out loud, right?
Audible.
Audible, but you read because the first part is the first part for you. The first part of Salah is the first part of the Ma'moom.
But when you are in Tashhad, few people there eat loudly, so it disturbs you. So they are.
No, just to be able to hear yourself. Don't just loudly means loudly, right? Just to be able to hear yourself. I said what he performs after the taslim is the last part of it, right? So the view is according to the hadith related by the majority of the compilers, which are the Ashab al-Sunan, in which the Prophet ﷺ said, and complete whatever you have missed. Complete whatever you have missed. So they understood this hadith as, they said it's known that completing a thing never happens unless it has already begun. So the other narration of the hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ said, and make up for whatever you have missed, doesn't contradict the narration stating, and complete whatever you have missed. This is because making up for whatever one misses in prayer means performing it according to the Quran. The Quranic verses in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, um, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم فإذا قضيت الصلاة means when the prayer has been concluded, right? And the statement of Allah Azza wa Jal فإذا قضيتم مناسككم, and when you have completed your rites. It's not a big deal actually, but it's good to know that. It's good to know that, right? So when you enter Salah, whatever you catch first with the Imam is the first for you, right? So you read Al-Fatiha, you read after Fatiha Surah, even if the Imam doesn't read Surah, you can read Surah because it's the first rak'ah for you. For you. Even for him, it's like the last, right?
Yeah.
And then after you finish, you just make up the rak'ah that you have missed based on this sequence.
Okay.
Right? Okay.
So do you,
Silently.
No.
Based on the sequence,
On the
as I said,
sequence.
based on the sequence.
Because after each
Based on the
abstain,
sequence.
then you
So the first, the second, right? Whatever you catch first, the first.
now.
He said now, now he comes to this point, right? Thereupon, the Prophet's statement and make up for whatever you have missed can be paraphrased as performing and completing the salah and Allah Ta'ala a'lam.
Right.
Then he said here, and if the salah is publicly recited, like audible, right? The one led in salah must listen to the recitation of the Imam. And it's not permissible for him to recite during the recitation of the Imam, either the Surah Al-Fatiha or any other surah. Which opinion he adopted now?
wasn't it,
Who said that from the scholars? And Malik. He's going to say now. Of course, I also is also, but he's going to explain now. Because he said only in the audible. How he said whatever audible or not audible? He said whatever, like whatever Imam, whatever Salah, any Salah, don't read. Huh? Salah Sirriya, Jahriya, don't read. Right? Jahriya or say don't read. But Malik said, no, only don't read if it's Jahriya, which is out loud, which is publicly recited, right? He said, this is because Allah said in the Quran, وَإِذَا قُرِئَ الْقُرْآنُ فَاسْتَمِعُوا لَهُ وَأَنصِتُوا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ, mentioned these verse, which means, so when the Quran is recited, then listen to it and pay attention that you may receive mercy. Right? And then he mentioned,
is that evidence specifically referring to the Salah?
yeah, this verse,
The Quran in general.
no, this verse has been actually,
That's a good question.
okay, it's a good, this verse actually has been recited, has been revealed, okay, came down to prohibit and forbid talking in Salah. At the very beginning, brothers, at the very beginning, talking in Salah was not prohibited.
Yes, that's true.
At the very beginning of Islam,
Yes, that's true.
right? It was permissible to talk. Like now, like Tawaf. Now when you make Tawaf, can you talk?
Yes.
Yes, you can talk if you need, right? You can
Not
talk.
necessity.
Huh? No, not necessity. If you need, not necessity. Like less than that, right? If you need, right? You need to talk to somebody. You need to
Okay.
you have a phone. You need to just say something. You can say, no problem. So Islam is still valid,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Huh? So that was like that before. And then Allah revealed this verse. And the Sahaba said, when this verse came down, we stopped talking on Salah. Because it came only to speak about that. Right? Huh? Hmm. So if someone reads Quran outside Salah, you have to listen to him. Why? Ahmad said what? SubhanAllah. Ahmad said, scholars أجمعوا على أن هذه الآية في الصلاة. He said, scholars unanimously, all of them by consensus, agree that the recitation mentioned in this verse is that recited during Salah.
So they have an ijma.
Ijma' here that this verse is only talking about the Salah. When you are in Salah, don't talk, right? He said, if recitation has obligatory on the part of the one lead in Salah, he wouldn't have been ordered by the lawgiver, Allah Azza wa Jal, to abandon such an obligation to observe a supererogatory act, namely listening to the recitation of the Imam. Now he's actually supporting his opinion, right? That Imam adopted. Besides, if the one lead in Salah concerns himself with reciting, then the loud recitation of the Imam would be useless. Is still supporting his opinion, which is the thought of the Imam Malik, rahimahullah, right? And he said, since saying Ameen after the recitation of the Imam takes the place of the recitation. So you say Ameen as if you read the Fatah. This is also the opinion, right? And he actually, as it's a very strong opinion, again, right? And he mentioned a verse in the Quran to support that. He said, Allah Azza wa Jal said to Musa and Harun, قَالَ قَدْ أُجِيبَتْ دَعْوَتُكُمَا, which means your supplication has been answered. Your supplication, your both. He said, this was said while Musa was the one who invoked Allah. Musa, the one who said the dua. But Allah said what? Your dua, both guys. But the translation even didn't give you both or one or two, right? Because your can be used for one, singular and plural. But in the verse, da'watukuma, your both dua, right, has been answered, right? Accepted. He said, Harun didn't make dua. But they said what? Because Musa said what? Said ربنا إنك أتيت فرعون وملأه زينة وأموالا في الحياة الدنيا. Then the verse continues. He made dua. So the dua, which means, oh Lord, indeed you have given Pharaoh and his establishment splendor and wealth in this dunya, and he made dua against him. Right? So, oh Allah, let him taste the painful torment. But Allah said what at the end? Harun on his side said Ameen. Look how did he use the verse to get the evidence to the scholars from a different ayah of Quran. He wanted to say that if you say Ameen behind the Imam as if you said the Fatiha. Because Ameen means what? Ameen means, oh Allah accept. Because the Fatiha is dua. Fatiha is all about dua. And the word Ameen means, oh Allah accept. Right? So he said here, we'll come to you. He said Ameen. So he said, Harun said Ameen, and Musa said the dua, even though when Allah referred to the dua, he said, your dua, guys. Okay. As if the dua has been said by both of them. Right? Yeah. So it is a proof for him, right? And we said this is a very strong opinion for those who say the Fatiha shouldn't be recited if Imam recites. But here again, the other opinion is also very strong too. When he said the hadith, the Prophet he gave the Sahaba the allowance, right? The permission to recite only the Fatiha. He mentioned the hadith, right? And he said there is no salah is valid without reading the Fatiha. So another is other opinion which is very so strong too. So back and forth between it. So we said there is no explicit like clear cut evidence for each of this group. No, right? Both of them they have their own proofs, and this is one of the examples of the differences that happen among the Sahaba. Sahaba, they were actually, after the Prophet died, they were also different among this issue, right? So there was not like something Sahaba agreed, all of them, because if Sahaba agreed on something, we can actually disagree. If the Sahaba, take this principle, if the Sahaba agreed on something, we cannot mention any disagreement after that. We cannot disagree on it. It's ijma', consensus. Sahaba themselves differed, right? After the death of the Prophet ﷺ, right? So it's okay, it's a reasonable difference whether you take this opinion or the other opinion, but you have to stick to one thing. You don't say, I'm going to adopt the opinion which says I have to read it every rak'ah. And then you come late one day, I want to just count. No, don't do that. You take the second opinion, you say, I'm going to count the salah only when I want to count the rak'ah only when I catch the fatiha. You have to stick to this opinion. Because if you don't do that, your salah is not valid. Even the one who is next to you, your salah is valid because he adopts the other opinion. And we call it Masail al-Diyana. The Masail of Diyana. This is between you and Allah Azza wa Jal. Right? You adopted this opinion, you now have to stick to it. Right? Don't just waver between this and that based on your circumstance. Right? When I come early, I will read al-Fatiha. Right? And I will count salah only. And if I come late, I will count. I will.
But the Quranic verse is not enough.
Where is the Quran verse?
When Quran recite, be silent.
Huh?
When Quran recited, be silent.
To receive mercy.
Yeah, I'm telling you because the hadith, because the Quran, look, what is the point of Sunnah here? We said the Quran, the Sunnah came to explain Quran and clarify Quran and to elaborate Quran and to break down what has been mentioned as a whole in Quran. السنة تفسر القرآن وتبين مجمل القرآن, right? وتوضح القرآن. Allah said in the Quran كتاب أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم والذي أنزل عليك الكتاب وأنزلنا إليك الذكر لتبين للناس ما نزل إليهم. We have sent to you, O Muhammad الذكر in order to clarify to people what has been sent to them. So Allah has sent down both Al-Quran and the Sunnah. Both of them are revelation. And the Sunnah has been sent down upon the Prophet Muhammad to clarify Al-Quran. By the way, if you want to say Al-Quran only, do you eat fish? I'm asking, do you eat fish? Based on the Quran, fish is haram. Based on the Quran only, fish is haram. Do you eat liver? Do you eat liver? Sometimes. People eat liver, right? Huh? Based on the Quran, liver is haram. Who can say how?
You have to use blood.
Quran said, Al-Mayta, dead is haram upon you guys. Upon you, right? Quran said, blood is haram. حُرِّمَتْ عَلَيْكُمُ الْمَيْتَةُ وَالدَّمُ. It's been made, rendered as a prohibited things, haram upon you, al-mayta, the dead, and the blood. Why do you eat fish? Fish is not slaughtered, right? Big fish will, it was no. Because Sunnah came to mention these exceptions and to tell us, Sunnah came to mention these exceptions and to tell us what أُحِلَّتْ لَكُمْ مَيْتَتَانْ وَدَمَانْ. So the Sunnah now made two things of dead halal and two things of blood halal. Two types of dead and two types of blood. What are these two types of dead? قال صلى الله عليه وسلم السمك, the fish, والجراد, locust. And the locust, jarad. Huh? These two things you don't have to slaughter. They're halal. The locust, right? Al-jarad, right? This green, like, what do you call it? Bird, like small. Huh?
What you call it? There's a name for it.
No, we couldn't locust.
Name. You guys giving your Urdu name.
Okay, no, yeah, not ordinary. This is the two things, right? You can look it up later on. And then the two types of blood قال الكبد والطحال. الكبد, liver, and طحال, spleen. Spleen, yeah, liver and spleen. This is also another kind of blood. So two things are halal by sunnah, right? So don't come to say, this kind of confusion. some people they have, and I'm gonna review all of these confusions. Inshallah, one day I have been received all of these points that some points, inshallah, we're gonna make a specific session to refute such such points which might be used to destroy and remove the sunnah from the life of Muslims. And they wanna remove the whole religion of Allah Azza wa Jal, but they don't have the gut to say we don't wanna Allah's religion, but they have the gut to say we do wanna sunnah, right? So they actually wanna destroy Allah's religion. So we are gonna, inshallah, refute all of these statements. Inshallah, may Allah make it easy for all of us. Now you got it. So we don't say Quran is enough. Quran is going to be clarified by the Sunnah. Anyway, this now we got like sidetracked. Huh? But anyway, we're going to go back, inshallah.
What about this lobster and
Lobster, shrimps,
مختلف في البحر.
Lobster,
shrimps,
shrimps,
Yeah.
all of these are halal. All of these things are halal.
Because the thing is, it's like bad fat. They say it walks on the ground too, and then it goes
No. We say the majority of its time, because we don't have time actually to laugh.
It said walks on the
The
ground.
majority of its time, it's where in the sea or in the land.
50-50.
Not 50-50. No, not 50. Not 50-50.
Don't 50-50, Amar.
Not 50-50.
Okay.
75-25?
No, just the principle. Is it allowed, or because it's like
It's allowed. It's allowed because it's most of its time of its life is in the sea. She cannot live long time in the sea.
Even though she amphibious.
She is not amphibious.
Not amphibious.
She is not amphibious.
Okay.
No, amphibious is like something lives, as I said, 50-50. It's not 50-50, right? You can go. Are you just as a human? You live in the sea or in the land? But you can't go to the sea, right? You can dive, right? You can dive without oxygen too.
Very short time.
For how many minutes? So what you say now, you're not. Of course. I'm telling you. So this is something we have to put in mind, just away from the differences, just to go because we're not supposed to delve into these details.
Okay.
The book is made to summarize, only to be a summarized book.
No.
So now he said, on the other hand, if the prayer is secretly, now he's going to say now, listen to this. On the other hand, if the prayer is secretly recited, Sirriya, or the one led in Salah doesn't hear the Imam, two things. If even he write, based on this opinion too, by the way, if you don't hear the Imam, because you are far away from the Imam, you don't hear, the mic cannot reach you, now you recite. He said what? Or he recites secretly, now then, he is to recite al-Fatiha. Right? If you don't hear the Imam, you have to say. Oh yeah. In this way, all the legal proofs related to that accord with each other. The one led in Salah must recite al-Fatiha in these secretly. And this is what, as we mentioned before, Malik said that. One of the important rulings on Jama'ah is that it is obligatory on the one led in Salah, Ma'moom, to follow the Imam completely on that. And it is prohibited for him to precede the Imam. It's haram. Again, listen to this hadith, it's a very scary hadith.
Yeah.
What if a person tries to precede the Imam? This is because the one led in Salah must follow the Imam, and the follower is not to precede the one followed.
Yeah.
In this regard, Al-Bukhari or Muslim, this is this hadith, related that the Prophet ﷺ said, أَمَا يَخْشَى أَحَدُكُمْ إِذَا رَفْعَ رَأْسَهُ قَبْلَ الْإِمَامِ أَنْ يُحَوِّلَ اللَّهُ رَأْسَهُ رَأْسَ حِمَارٍ أَوْ يَجْعَلَ صُورَتَهُ صُورَةَ حِمَارٍ. He said, is he who raises his head before the Imam not afraid that Allah may transform his head into that of a donkey, or his face into that of a donkey? Subhanallah. Very scary, right? This hadith agreed upon. So the one who precedes the Imam in Salah is like the donkey. Right? Why? He said, which doesn't understand the wisdom behind whatever it does. If one precedes the Imam, one then deserves to be punished. In Sahih, authentic hadith, Bukhari or Muslim, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إنما جعل الإمام ليؤتم به فلا تركعوا حتى يركع ولا تسجدوا حتى يسجد. He said the Imam is appointed to be followed.
Yeah.
So do not bow until he bows. And do not prostrate until he prostrates. The Sahaba used to do what? To wait for him till he makes sujood.
Yeah.
And by the way, some of those who, as we said, prolong the takbir and this take time, and while they are still in takbir in their journey from qiyam to sujood, right? Already the congregation already in sujood. So they made sujood before him. You have to wait for the imam till he makes sujood and then you make sujood. Right? Ahmad Abu Dawood also narrated this hadith. إنما جعل ليتم به فإذا ركع فاركعوا ولا تركعوا حتى يركع وإذا سجد فاسجدوا ولا تسجدوا حتى يسجد. He said the imam is appointed to be followed, so when he bows you should also bow, and do not bow until he bows. Like some people, once imam starts saying Allahu Akbar to ruku', he's already in ruku'. He already reached. Subhanallah, he's express, right? He said, also when he prostrates, you should also prostrate and do not prostrate until he prostrates. That makes you before him, right?
Yeah.
Now he almost finished. He said here, listen, the Sahaba of the Prophet ﷺ used not to bow their backs to sujood, to prostrate, until the Prophet ﷺ prostrated.
Already in the sajda.
Already in sujood. Sahaba used to wait for him till he is already in sujood.
Oh, there was
Some people they are standby. You know what? Until he's in rush. Man, even if you are in rush, wallahi, you wouldn't be able to get out of salah before Imam makes the sleep. You get this point, right?
Yeah.
Even if you finish quickly, well, you have to wait for him to finish the witches, right?
Correct.
So he said, and then one of the reasons, Hadith said he's like a donkey. He doesn't understand. Because if you actually, okay, you made it very quickly now, what would you do? You would wait for him till he finish.
Why not?
So what did you, right? So I have to understand. Sahaba used to wait, right, and not to bow their backs, even move their backs to sujood until the Prophet ﷺ already prostrated. Then they would do the same. Huh?
Is the salah still valid?
What do you
If you
mean by that?
precedes imam? If you precedes imam, yani
Intentionally? Oh, this is a big problem
especially
now.
or in
Intentionally, this is something wrong. This is intentionally something
wrong.
Yeah.
Unintentionally.
Intentionally is so wrong. Unintentionally is something else. Unintentionally was anything to do unintentionally. When Umar ibn Khattab saw a man, listen, preceding the Imam in Salah, he did what?
He got the stick.
He beat him.
Oh, I figured that.
Imagine that.
no one in one.
This is Umar ibn Khattab. He saw a man. What did he say to him? Look what he said. He said, لا وحدك صليت ولا بإمامك اقتديت. He said, you neither performed the salah alone, nor did you follow your imam. What did you do, man? What did you do? And he beat him. Umar, he wasn't joking, man.
Oh,
He was so
so
serious.
the stick up.
He has his dirra, right? Ready. His dirra ready, stick, ready. I was Amir al-Mu'mineen.
How?
And some people they don't understand unless they feel the pain of the beat.
Yeah.
Huh? Otherwise they would
This is a
forget.
deterrent. This is a great
My
deterrent.
question is.
So let me finish listen, because I have only 2 minutes and I have only almost a few lines. And then he said here, some people do not give due attention to this matter. They precede the Imam in Salah, thus they join those warned with the severe divine punishment. Besides, this might cause the invalidity of their Salah. Imam Muslim raised that the Prophet ﷺ said, لا تسبقوني بالركوع ولا بالسجود ولا بالانصراف. Do not precede me in bowing and sujood and ending of salah. Again, do not precede me in bowing into ruku' and prostration and ending your salah, ending of prayer. Do not finish before me. Do not end your salah before me. As you said, you say assalamu alaikum first, he's already finished.
Yeah.
You have to wait for him till he finished the second taslim. And then you just didn't finish and he finished before you.
Yeah.
Right? Subhanallah. The last statement, Sheikh Islam said, what he said, Sheikh Islam already mentioned in English. Scholars unanimously agree. Scholars, all of them agree that it is prohibited. It is what? Prohibited to precede the Imam in Salah. In addition, it's not permissible for the worshipper to bow before his imam or to raise one's head after bowing, right? Before he raises his head, or to prostrate before he prostrates. There are many well-known hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ forbade doing such an act. Preceding the imam in salah is a kind of deception done by Satan, shaitan, to the ones performing salah, so that they might perform it improperly. What would the person who precedes the imam get? He's asking this question. Huh? He will not end his salah until the imam pronounces taslim. Huh? Therefore, Muslims should pay attention to this and should adhere to the rulings on following the imam. And then he said, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make all of us comprehend our religion and to have insight into its ruling, for he is the hearing and the responsive as-sami' al-mujib subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is because if Allah wants to do good to somebody, he bestows on him the gift of understanding the religion, the deen.
How loud we should be when we are silently reading the Quran?
How what?
How loud we should be.
Just to hear yourself.
Yourself.
Yeah, of course.
Because some brothers.
But no, don't bother your brother on salah.
Don't worry what you.
Yeah, and this is actually the end of this chapter.
It's entrapped.
Don't interrupt your brother. Make it like almost you just hear yourself. You just move your lips. You hear yourself. That's it. That's enough. And if you are, and
It's
you,
supposed to be
but
like that.
no, but you say what? If you are alone,
No,
I'm
you
saying.
are alone, you can.
But if you are in jama'ah, you just read loud. What do you call quietly, man? Who said that? Who said you have to read out loud?
Not loud because they whisper like.
No, don't say no. Only move your lips. You just move your
The
lips.
other person can.
Even if you don't hear yourself, even don't hear yourself. Even move your lips. That's it. If you move your lips, you did it. Huh? But just don't read by your mind. And again, like some people they just say Allahu Akbar. What are you doing? I'm reading Fatah. No, it's not Fatah. You haven't read. You haven't read. It's not valid. You have to move your lips. You have to move your lips. Huh? Otherwise, it's not Qur'an. Right? This is actually.
If I'm playing outside, I cannot see Imam, or like if Fil Haram or somewhere.
Can you see Imam? You just, of course, you recite.
No. I'm talking about following Imam.
Yeah.
I cannot see personally. Like here, I can see you, or some.
You see the line which is in front of you.
Like I'm praying outside, I cannot see Imam. What's the simple rule in order to make sure I'm not preceding Imam? Just to make sure, because
once you say Allahu Akbar, and just of course he makes a call. Right? That's it. I mean, yeah. Just
it depends on the age of the Imam. Some
it's
imams
normal.
take time going.
If you don't see, you look to those who are in front of you. I'm telling you, those who are in front of you, and you just follow them. That's it. That's it. جزاك الله خيرا سبحانك محمد أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك والسلام عليكم.
How to stop? Just end.